Hi aspirants, welcome to our new lecture. In this lecture number 37, we will discuss new and important topic G7 Summit 2021 and India in GS Mains Paper 2. This topic is quite relevant for Civil Services Mains Examination 2021. Please watch this video till the end. In this lecture, we will discuss first G7 Summit 2021, second G7 Summit and India, opportunities to expand ties with the West. First, G7 Summit 2021. The G7 countries comprising US, UK, Canada, Italy, Japan, France and Germany met in Cornwall, UK in June 2021. India, Australia and South Korea were invited as special guests to deepen the expertise and experience around the table. The leaders attending the summit represent over 60% of the people living in democracies around the world, representing over 2.2 billion people and over half of the world's economy. The summit is seen as one of the few forums where the world's most influential societies and advanced economies are brought together for close-knit discussions. At the 2021 G7 summit, UK hopes to unite the group under the Build Back Better slogan following the end of the COVID-19 pandemic. G7 is the most prominent grouping of democratic countries, and it has long been the catalyst for decisive international action to tackle the greatest challenges of the world. The summit focused on, first, leading the global recovery from the coronavirus, second, promoting future prosperity by championing free and fair trade, third, tackling climate change, fourth, preserving the planet's biodiversity, and finally championing shared values. What are the key takeaways of the G7 2021 summit? First, 1 billion doses of COVID-19 vaccine. The G7 leaders pledged to deliver an additional 870 million vaccine doses for the developing world on top of the 250 million already promised by the US and 100 million from the UK. Second, no more coal. G7 leaders pledged to phase out coal-fired power generation at home and to end funding for new coal-burning power plants in the developing world. The leaders committed to offering developing nations $2.8 billion to help them switch to cleaner fuels. The G7 summit also promised to make good on a pledge first made in 2009 to jointly mobilize $100 billion per year from public and private sources through to 2021 for developing countries to help them tackle the impact of climate change. Third, America is back. America is back at the table, declared the US president, as US sought to consign some of the friction between his predecessor and the world community to the political past. He also said the summit had been extraordinarily collaborative. This summit is being considered as a contest with autocratic governments on human rights. Fourth, tech giants and tax havens targeted. The G7 summit agreed measures to dissuade multinational companies from shifting profits to low tax havens and levy a minimum 15% corporate tax rate. Leaders also moved to help protect the global financial system from the impact of climate change by agreeing rules to require companies and financial institutions to disclose the extent to which their business is exposed to climate change risks. In essence, G7 summit will strive to build back better from the coronavirus pandemic and create a cleaner, more prosperous future. Now we move on to the second topic, G7 Summit in India, an opportunity to expand ties with the West. The G7 Summit is an opportunity to expand the global dimension of India's growing partnership with the US and West. India has been invited as a participant in G7 Summit and marks an important milestone in the history of G7. West is in terminal decline due to the rapid ascendancy of China and deepening divisions within the West during the Trump years. US declaration America is back under renewed American leadership demonstrates the collective West is an enduring force to reckon with. America First policies weakened the West. US determined to draw India into a new global architecture. The challenges from an increasingly aggressive China, the urgency of mitigating climate change, and the construction of a post-pandemic international order are generating an unprecedented convergence between the interests of the India and the world. There is no doubt that the increasing intensity of this engagement with the US and the West has been triggered in part by the continuous deterioration of the relationship with China. China is the only great power that does not support India's permanent membership of the UN Security Council and blocks India's membership of the Nuclear Suppliers Group. China is the greatest obstacle to India's global aspirations, and the West is an emerging partner. India has relied on Western support to fend off China's effort to internalize the Kashmir question after the 2019 constitutional changes. The West is also more empathetic than China on India's international campaign to counteract Pakistan's support for cross-border terrorism. India is not only reluctant to integrate with the China-led Asian Economic Order, but it is also turning to the West, the US, UK, European Union and others for trade agreements. For broad convergence between India and the West, it will require sustained negotiations on reforming the global economic order, mitigating climate change, promoting greener growth, making the world immune to future pandemics, and finally constructing trusted supply chains. While India continues to strengthen its partnership in Asia and the global South, a more productive partnership with the West helps secure a growing array of India's national interests and adds a new depth to India's international relations. That is all for now. There are many more exciting changes to come, and we are looking forward to sharing them with you. As always, I welcome any feedback as to how we can better serve you for stellar performance in civil services exams. Thank you for continuing to be a part of our journey. Keep evolving.